from the city of the 80s, the men and women who make television in Detroit join together to celebrate the second annual Detroit Emmy Awards presentation. See the stars as they shine. Doris Biscoe, John Blunt, Lonnie Clark, Ronnie Clemmer, Mort Cribb, Sonny Elliott, Rich Fisher, Dr. Sonia Friedman, Harry Gallagher, Suzanne G. Haw, Joe Glover, Gail Granick, Carmen Harlan, Jim Harrington, Laurie Kapp, Ray Lane, Jack LaGaw, Ted Lindsay, Amir Makinson, J.P. McCarthy, Charlie Neal, Kathy O'Brien, Gene Taylor, Robbie Timmons, Joe Weaver, Dennis Holey, Woody Willis, Linda Wright Avery, and special appearances by Mr. Belvedere and Ollie Freder. The Detroit television industry has assembled tonight at the Masonic Temple to honor and be honored for television excellence, performers, producers, directors, writers, cinematographers, editors, art directors, and set designers. All are stars on this special TV2 presentation. Now, live from the stage of the Cathedral Theater in the Masonic Temple, the Detroit chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences presents the second annual Detroit Emmy Awards presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, our host for the evening, CKLW's Man of the Morning, Mr. Dick Purton.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Within minutes, the explosion and fire had reduced this two-story frame to a pile of smoking rubble. Authorities suspect it was a gas explosion. Michigan Consolidated investigators were checking a feeder line. Somewhere in the debris, firefighters knew they would eventually find the body of 3-year-old Sienna, the daughter of Alondria Scott and Mark Savando. The parents are in satisfactory condition at Plymouth General Hospital. In fact, Mark called the family from there early this morning.
My mother was speaking to him, and he said that the house blew up, and, you know, they was trying to get out, and they got out luckily, and they was looking for Sienna. They couldn't find her, you know. My mother is,
They said they tried to look for her, but they couldn't?
They couldn't find her. They heard her crying, but they, you know, the heat and everything, and with all the rubble, they couldn't get to her.
The explosion was also a close call for Shirley Bryant, who managed to escape from that house with her young daughter, and for Shirley Massengill, who was asleep in this house with 5 children.
It was one in the bed with me, and then there was 3 here, and it was 1 there.
Looks like you got them out just in time.
Yeah, well, when I come in the room, this wall here then the window was shattered out. This wall was shattered out like it is now, and all these boards and stuff was laying across them and stuff, and glass was all over the floor. So I met them at the door as they was getting up. I guess the explosion kind of scared them, you know, and it scared me too, but we got out.
By 8 o'clock this morning, bulldozers were brought to the scene to clear the surface rubble, to give firefighters a chance to dig their way into the basement. At 9:15, Sienna's small body was found in the right rear corner of the house. She was found by firefighter Willie Johnson. I'm Ron Trumbla, TV2 Eyewitness News in Detroit.
It's almost impossible to dig deep on a daily breaking news story. When a fire hits, it's on the spot happening right now coverage that's required. And when it works, it's newscasting at its best. Nominees for outstanding achievement in daily breaking news stories are
Taylor Fire, WXYZ-TV, Charles Monroe, executive producer.
The fire broke out when the tank on Beach Daily north of Wick overflowed while being filled from an underground pipeline. The result was a huge ball of flame that lit up the nighttime sky and was visible in downtown Detroit, 20 miles away.
And Fatal House Fire, WJBK-TV, Ron Trumbla, producer reporter.
Within minutes, the explosion and fire had reduced this two-story frame to a pile of smoking rubble. Authorities suspect it was a gas explosion. Michigan Consolidated investigators were checking a feeder line. Somewhere in the debris, firefighters knew they would eventually find the body of 3-year-old Sienna, the daughter of Alondria Scott and Mark Savando. The parents are in satisfactory condition at Plymouth General Hospital. In fact, Mark called the family from there early this morning.
And the winner is Fatal House Fire, Ron Trumbla, WJBK-TV.
That's nice. About all I can really say is that if it wasn't for photographer Chuck Davidson, with his skill, his experience, and his sensitivity on the scene at the time, I wouldn't be here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Our next presenters, TV2's Robbie Timmons and Channel 4's John Blunt. Indeed, I'm sorry to tell you, John had to run back to Channel 4 for the 11 o'clock news.
The show must go on, as
which
they
is
say.
going on in just about an hour, as a matter of fact. Yes. So I'm sorry. I don't have John's tan, but I hope I will do it tonight. Be with us all.
Yeah. This is a very important category. As you know, most of the winners have been paying tribute and honor to the cameramen and women and the editors, and so those are the people we're going to honor right now. As you may know, cinematographers use film cameras, videographers use electronic cameras. And without these artists in our business, where would we be? In radio.
Oh, dear. Thank you. Well, I certainly have the face for it.
The right picture capturing the right word can make a story, as you may know. Each of us who reports the news knows that our words can only go so far, and it takes the work of our cameramen and women to take that picture and go beyond the words. For outstanding achievement in the art of cinematography and videography for news and non-news production, the nominees are
Chuck Davidson, videographer, WJBK-TV, Fatal House Fire.
At 9:15, Sienna's small body was found in the right rear corner of the house. She was found by firefighter Willie Johnson.
Jerry Zuckerman and Ron Little, videographers, Boys Next Door, Project Jolt at Jackson, WXYZ-TV.
And I thought I was bad, but in prison you learn real fast. They don't care how tough you are on the street or how bad you think you are with friends. When you put a kid in the same cage as these animals, it's a whole new ball game.
I don't know who you are and care less.
Dale Pegg, videographer, The Angels Song, WJBK-TV. John Fuller, cinematographer, A News Hawk Christmas, WXYZ TV.
For a moment, Marie came back to reality of the room we sat in, of the chill. She worries. To survive in the corridor, you must be streetwise, alert, always looking behind you. It's not only the abuse, the muggings that worry Marie. You see, even at Christmas, a time of peace on earth, goodwill to all men, the old people of the corridor face the stark reality of losing their shelter.
Lodging, sometimes they put out because they can't pay their rent. Some of them can't pay their rent.
Tom Stefani, videographer, WJBK-TV, PM Magazine, a camp for special kids.
Sweet survivor, carry on, my lonely friend. Don't give up on the dream. Don't you let it end. Carry on, my sweet survivor, though you know that something's gone. For everything that matters, carry on.
And the winner is, two winners, Chuck Davidson, Fatal House Fire, WJBK-TV 2, and Dale Pegg, The Angel Song, TV 2, WJBK-TV.
I'd like to thank everybody very much, and especially we go through this with Joe Weaver and his writing, and my audio man, Bill Skinner, for his help, and Errol Fortin and Bill Ferry and Ken Credo and his editing, but especially the Holy Trinity Church and their fine work with Father Simone and Father Campbell. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to thank Tom Stefani and John Fuller and the other nominees who did not trip either one of us on our way up here. This was a very sensitive news story, this fire that we just saw here. And it was sensitivity on the part of a lot of people that made that story work and be better than the average news story, I think. And not the least of which, my sound man, Harold Stevens, sound was very important. When that helmet hit the street, you had to hear it. And if we didn't hear it, it wouldn't have been a very good story. And the editing on the story by Ken Credo, he felt the story and he assembled it very sensitively. And the reporting on the story was, the writing was, we just had the writing awards, the demonstration of good writing and the use of the minimum number of words was put to great use by Ron Trumbla, the reporter on the story, and he really has a lot to do with the story. And another part of the story was the fire department of the city of Detroit, whose sensitivity made the story possible. And to my wife, thank you for showing me something about sensitivity every single day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chuck and Dale.